Motion, motion, motion.
I already knew I messed up, bro.
She feeling emotions. You feeling emotion. She wish she could. She wish she would. And now they feeling emotion. They like my emotion. I knew I could. I knew I would. And now we up, blowing cash, living fast, making emotion. She's emotional, emotional. She's emotional, emotional. She's emotional, 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 emotional. Baby, I got Mr. Motion. Baby, I got motion. Mr. Motion. Baby, I got motion. Mr. Motion. Baby, I got motion.
Motion, motion, motion. She's emotional. Welcome back, everyone. We on the Mr.Motion platform. I'm your host, Motiion, and we got another episode of Emotional Mondays. Clap it up, everyone. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. It's a very special episode. We actually have 3 guests today. First, we got someone that's been on this platform before. We got Chan the Man,
What's up, y'all? Glad to be here again.
and I have 2 of my friends here that haven't been on the platform before, but y'all soon gonna love them. I got my friend Yasmin,
Hey.
and I got my friend T.
Hey.
And we about to give y'all a lot of game about this one specific topic. Everybody's outside right now, it seems. There's a lot of situationships and not relationships. So the topic that we want to talk about specifically today is hookup culture damaging our society, our generation, I should say. I want to ask you guys that because we got 3 different perspectives here, and I know it's going to be a juicy video. I know it's going to be a little bit controversial, but we're here to have healthy conversations, so please be healthy in the comments below. But with that being said, my question for you guys is, what is your definition of hookup culture?
I'd say for me, it's like, it's pretty much just having like sex with like, anybody you find attractive. I think that's like hookup culture. You're doing it before you actually get to know the person for real. And I mean, it depends on the person, but I think for me, like I would have to get to know the person for at least like 3 to 4 months, Anytime before that, it's just hooking up. So I think that's my opinion.
What about y'all?
I feel like hookup culture, like at least for me, is like, it's not even friends with benefits at this point. Like, you're not even friends. Like how Chan said of like, it's really based off of looks. Like, you don't even know this person. You probably don't even know their last name. Like, you saw them at a party and they look good. Oh, let's go in the room. So.
No, that's crazy. No, that is cool.
Yeah, like.
No, that's
So,
crazy
yeah.
for real. What about you, T?
I would say one thing about hookup culture that stands out to me would be like the lack of effort and commitment that comes with it. Like what Yasmin said, I can meet you and say you're cute, slide in your DMs. Next thing you know, we in bed together. I don't know your last name. I didn't have to buy you roses. I didn't have to serenade you. We didn't have to have a conversation. We didn't have to discuss. So are we gonna be in a relationship after this? No, it's just sex.
So from what I'm getting from everyone is that a lot of it is just based off flesh and not the emotional or the cognitive relationship or connection with each other anymore. So I guess my next question for y'all is, do you think social media makes people too accessible to one another?
I think so because like, I feel like ever since COVID, like people don't want to go outside and like make meaningful connections, like whether that's like relationship or platonic friendships or even like work. Like our phones and the internet are so accessible to us that like it kind of handicaps us in a way of like we don't have to try as hard. Like we can just pick up the phone, or we're going on Instagram, we're going on TikTok or whatever, and we're just sliding in someone's DM instead of like making that meaningful connection. Because like someone could be a different person in person rather than over a phone.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, when it's been said silent to people DMs, like people do not go out of their way to try to get to know you, to try to get your life and do meaningful conversation. All they do is heart your Instagram story or send heart eyes, and they think you're supposed to respond back and want to mess with them.
Like, we are 22, 23 years old. Heart eyes don't mean a dang thing.
Nothing.
We are not in middle school anymore.
Dang.
That's not communication. Like, I feel like where we fall short is like communication.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And like, I feel like social media definitely plays a part in that.
Right. No, I most definitely agree with that. You got any thoughts about that, Shane?
I do think social media as a whole, it paints this picture that like, if you're a master at marketing yourself, I feel like you're putting yourself out there, which is a good thing, but you're also deceiving people. So you could be deceiving that person to thinking like, okay, that's a better option, you know, but they don't know you. So like, in that sense, if you're a marketing expert, you can use social media as a benefit, but it's not really benefiting the world, because now you're having people think that like, there's better options than what I currently have. I think that's the deceiving part that people don't understand.
I agree with Chan, because it's like social media, like, you can put your best foot forward. Like, you can retry and try again.
Right.
That like, if you don't like the first outcome, delete. I'm gonna do it again.
Right.
Like, I feel like people on social media, like, they're definitely gonna put their best foot forward. That's not who they may be genuinely. And I feel like that is also like where we fall short as far as like making those connections, whether that be relationship or not.
A lot of that, like I was saying, a lot of that is just based on, you know, the perception or the highlights of someone, rather, but you don't really know this person. You know, this person is physically attractive, but they could be a whole, you know, mass serial killer, or they could be, you know, a very nasty person, or somebody with, you know, dark energy and whatnot. Alright, we'll cut that because my TV don't cut out.
I feel like at the end of the day,
Social media handicaps people.
No, it does. It most definitely does. Everything, like I said, like I feel like people are just too accessible now, to where like
You don't have to try.
you can send somebody, you can slide up on a story, and literally, if that person wants that attention, you know,
you're gonna entertain.
they gonna entertain it. You know, especially like if your relationship's not working out how you want it. Like temptation is very much more prominent, right? And I mean, some people think if I post this picture, then I know so and so gonna see it, or I know so and so gonna slide up. Yeah.
It's always a return motive.
Right. Yeah. It could be it could be nasty out here, for real, for real. So yeah, my next question for y'all is, does hookup culture affect the emotional connections that people form in a relationship, or like the expectations?
I feel like, so whenever you like, you know, you do it with somebody, I feel like you do have a little bit of emotional connection, no matter what. For like, you know, it might not be as big of a connection if you actually got to know the person.
Okay.
With that hookup culture, it's like you're building a bond, even though it might not be a strong bond. You're building a bond. You're becoming one, and you're breaking. So like, if you continuously build a bond and break it, I feel like it might be harder to sustain a long-term bond, because you're so used to building a bond and breaking it.
Interesting.
But that's just my take.
What about you?
I mean, what Chan said, it makes sense though, because like, especially like the hookup culture as a whole, like, if you're hooking up with multiple people, you're building a bond, you're breaking it, you're building a bond.
Right.
You're leaving more and more broken from each bond. So when you do find your person, it's like you're broken, but that's not that person's responsibility.
Right.
But that is your person to fix you.
Right.
So yeah, like hookup culture does like affect emotional bonds, like over time. Like, even though you might not see it in the moment, long term, like, it's gonna make a difference.
Anything to add?
I actually think I have something else to add. So we're so used to like, obviously when you first meet somebody, it's always seems so effortlessly, or it seems so like you're high energy when you meet somebody new. It's like somebody's so fresh. Long story short, I just feel like if you're so used to that, then when you get into like a longer term relationship, you're gonna want that high spike in dopamine all the time. You don't want that that spark like at first ignited, and whenever you get in that long term relationship, that long gone, you're gonna realize that you need a slow burn. You can't have a night of fire like how it was when you was, thrashing and bashing.
Right.
So I think it does affect, like that's just another point to add to it, but it does affect, from my opinion, long-term relationships.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, hookup culture makes you addicted to the high that comes from that dopamine rush. But when you're in a long-term relationship, there are going to be times where y'all go through hard trouble, like long-term hard times, and it's like, why should I stay when I could just go hook up with the next and get that high?
Right.
So hookup culture give people the thought that I could just go on to the next, because there's always going to be options out there instead of working with what you got and actually building a true emotional connection, working through your problems.
I feel like that comes with maturity too, and like definitely like a case by case, cause it's like like that high definitely like feels good temporarily like in the moment, but like I know for me personally like I want like a long term fulfillment. So like like it can feel good to the flesh in the moment, but that's not something that most people want, most people long for. So culture does not have my vote.
It's just so prominent in the media, I would say. Like the music that we listen to. Like for example, let's say like R&B music. Like back in the 90s, it was more so about love and you begging on your knees and showing like having this appreciation for like your woman or your man or whatnot. Whereas now it's more so about sneaky links and situationships. This person may be toxic, this person may not be good for me, but the physical is good and I'm addicted to the physical. And I just think about everyone in general is listening to this and obviously being influenced by it, because you're seeing these people that have status and prominent figures in our culture, but I do believe that it has negative long-term effects when you do eventually want to get into a long-term relationship with someone, especially with someone that comes from a background of like, I say peace, whereas a lot of that is like chaos, and you can't change anyone. That's my relationship advice to anyone that's in a situation like that. Like, you can't save anyone. Like, they have to save themselves at the end of the day. They have to choose peace. If they come from chaos or if they've been tolerating chaos. Next question. Do y'all think men and women experience hookup culture differently?
It's funny. Me and Yasmin, like, we had a conversation, like, I would say about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I do think women and men do have a difference when it comes to, like, I guess the sex period. I think we came to the conclusion, if I'm not wrong, is that like men, we are more drawn to like straight up physical, and like when we see a girl like and they are attractive, it's like, oh, like she bad or like she's sexy. You know what I mean? For a woman, I feel like it's more about, I can't really speak on y'all too much, but I do think y'all are more like drawn to them like on y'all just geared different.
I think it stems back to how sex is introduced to us. Like, as a woman, you're taught like your body is your temple. You can't just let anyone have sex with you. So like when it came to me losing my virginity and stuff, my mom was like, don't just have sex with anybody. But like I know like my male friends, when it came to them losing their virginity, they were given condoms and said, go ahead and have sex with anybody. So women don't view hookup culture the same, because my body is my temple and I'm not gonna let anyone have it. Compared to a man, it's like, I'm that guy. If I can have sex with this girl tonight, that girl the next night, another girl the other night.
I do agree with T, because it's like, so like one of my old friends, he had told me a few years back, and like after I heard this, like it definitely made me look at like things differently. So he told me that men have sex with who they can and women have sex with who they want. And like when I looked at it in that aspect, he wasn't wrong. Like if a woman does not want to have sex with a man, it's not gonna happen. But if a woman throws himself onto a man and he might see her slightly attractive, he's gonna take the opportunity. So I definitely, like, I'm not saying y'all, but I'm just saying in general, like when he told me that, like I never looked at it in that way, and I do agree in a way. So I do think that hookup culture is looked at differently, because like men will hook up with who they can and women will hook up with who they want.
You got a response for that?
Okay, so yeah, like ultimately I do agree with Yasmin. but there are some cases. I feel like, you know, there's been times where I could have easily done something, and this is probably when I like got more mature. But I easily could have done something, but it didn't sit well with me. So I do still say no. Like it's not like I have to say it. It's more so like I have to push away, because if I just say no girl's just gonna outright ask, but you're gonna feel the tension.
I feel like it's a case by case situation.
No, it most definitely is, because I know for me, you know, I feel like every man, you know, when they're younger, has that point where like maybe our dads or our father figures or our cousins, our brothers be like giving us our first pair of condoms and saying like, go ahead, go talk to that guy right there, man, see what you can do. Whereas y'all, like you said, it's more so about y'all tempo, but more so much. I'm just keeping it a buck, you know. I'm just keeping it a buck. It may be like a double standard a little bit, yeah, because you know we get more so promoted for hooking up with X amount of women, whereas with y'all, it's more so like, oh, she a hoe, or she this and that. And we're in a time, we live in a time of quote unquote like sexual liberation, like sexual freedom. And I'm not necessarily a fan of it, because like my religion, I'm very religious, but there shouldn't be a double standard, I should say. You know, there shouldn't be a double standard to where men can do one thing, but women can't do the other. Like we all gotta be equal at the end of the day.
I mean, personally, like just from like, you know, the years I've been here on this earth, I used to think like y'all were saying, like it's about the amounts of girls I could do, you know, things of that nature, like the top ones, you know what I'm saying? But like now that I've really grown up, I treat my body just like a temple, like just how women would.
Correct.
And I actually promote it. Like I talk to my brothers, you know, you show me your roster and who you've done stuff with, does not impress me. I promote like you actually dealing with a woman and getting with a woman that you want to be with, for real. And maybe that would stop some of the damage from both ends.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I think it goes back to like what I said before of like the case by case and maturity level. Cause like I would hope this doesn't happen, but say like someone 30, like I highly doubt, like 30 plus, I highly doubt they're in hookup culture as much as like people our age are.
Right. But it happens.
It does happen.
That's what I'm, like, I hate to bring names in here, but like when you think of artists like SZA, let's say SZA, right? SZA about 35, 36 years old, and she's talking about this toxic view of being with someone and, you know, having these situationships, and it's, you know, just being spread out to, you know, the masses and whatnot. But like she's like 36, and I don't know SZA personally, but I would think she's pretty, you know, mature. She makes very mature music and whatnot, but I don't know. I just feel like it's like a culture thing. More and more people are just straying away from like religion. I see all the time where people have like the Bible verses in their stories or in their bios and like Instagram or whatnot, but they're not practicing what they're preaching. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like more of a crutch than anything, more like an image thing than actually like following through with, you know, what they're saying.
Her music just so good, bro.
Chin, what the heck is this about?
I'm just thinking in my head like, sliding you,
But Drake and SZA 35, 36 years old, and they on the same type of timing.
They are.
They sliming you out? What does that mean at 35, 36? Shouldn't you be giving us game about how to have a sustainable, stable, healthy relationship?
But look at them, they're single.
They are single, but it's because of their practices, man.
I ain't trying to get no
beef with Drake and SZA. All I'm saying is that we're being heavily affected, man. Like I don't know anyone personally, like my friend group or my village, that wants to be outside. Do y'all want to be outside?
No.
Do y'all want to be out? Like, do you want to be outside?
Bruh, the streets are ghetto.
I hate it
The
here.
streets is ghetto, bro. It's ghetto, man. Like, we got Facebook warriors going crazy back home.
Every time I look at it, every time
Messy.
I look at Facebook, oh, it's my baby daddy.
Baby
Yes!
daddy, baby daddy, baby mama, this, like, it's sickening.
And that's like the one thing I'm trying, the one goal that I definitely want to accomplish is not having, I want my baby mama to be my wife.
Right.
And I want that marriage to last as far, like I want it to last as long as possible. I just feel like in this day and age, it's like that's nearly impossible.
Yeah, and you just, I hate to say it, but you don't know anybody's true intentions anymore because people constantly change like the seasons nowadays. Like if one thing go wrong, then I know I got a roster. I know I have access to 10 other people.
Didn't think just like my story the other day. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
think that dude just like DM me the other day?
Right. I turn them down, but now I gonna turn them up. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that where it could be a little bit challenging to even like trust trying to be in a relationship because at the end of the day, people not trying to get hurt. I think that's all where it stems from too.
Yeah.
People don't want to get hurt no more. People don't want to have that emotional connection, be with someone for 2 years, and then, you know, the shit just hit the fan.
It didn't like, let's say you do hook up with somebody and they actually like you. Like they actually wholeheartedly like they like you and then the other person don't like you. For real. Somebody gonna get hurt. They get hurt every single time. People just don't wanna get hurt. And then like, think about social media hurts people too. It hurts people on the daily. Like literally, like you go on Instagram, if you spend more than 20 minutes on Instagram, there's gonna be a slight pain. I'm not sure if y'all feel this way, but me, I can't be on Instagram for more than an hour. Or like, I'm gonna be like, not aggravated, but like, I don't know.
I think it's just so negative.
Yeah, we're constantly influenced, and we have so many opinions on the internet now to where like you're gonna get the people that's promoting healthy relationships, but more than likely 70% you're gonna get, you know, the drama, the entertaining stuff that, you know, they'll be on the blogs and the media to where it's all about baby mama, baby daddy culture, or, you know, let's bash people on social media instead of just sending a text message to my baby daddy or my husband or whatnot. Like everything is just put at the forefront, and I think it's also a validation thing too.
People don't have shame no more.
They don't.
They don't have shame. That's what it comes to.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a validation.
It's okay to be embarrassed. Like, be embarrassed, but in your own home. Like, just because you and your baby daddy got problems, all your thousands of followers don't need to know that.
Right. It's also, like I said, the validation thing. Like, you post it on social media, and now they, yeah, right.
Everybody comment.
Cause you want, right? You go, girl. Yeah, you tell him that this and that. But like, think about the kids. Think about the people that's affecting. It's crazy to me.
How can we fix this boiling pot of a mess that we didn't really create it, but like the people who are running stuff, like not I want to say the government, but like the labels, the music labels, like I feel like the music labels, like the people who run social media, like ultimately they want money, what sells, sex.
Yeah.
So like we gotta stop them. But who's letting them do this?
I say the way to fix it is like, don't consume it. Like, if they not getting the ratings, if they not making the money, who's gonna pay them? How are they gonna keep making this type of music? How are they gonna keep giving off this negative connotation of like our society? If you don't have the stuff to fuel it, it's gonna go away. I know, like me personally, like we were talking last week about like music and social media and stuff, and like me personally, I'm going on week 3 of not listening to secular music. Like, it's just so negative, and I didn't realize how negative it was until, like, I think I was like 2 weeks in, and I was in the car with my little sister, and she was listening to music that, like, was just so sad and, like, draining.
Right.
So, it's definitely what's at our fingertips. Our music, our social media, maybe the people we hang around. Like, if we don't consume those things, like us as an individual, because that's all we can change is ourselves, is like, if we can remove ourselves from that, one person at a time, it will make a difference. So I feel like that's the way to fix it, of like, you can't fall into the trap. That's all it is.
Yeah, but that's a mindset thing, man.
It definitely is.
A lot of people want to fall into the trap. A lot of people only know the trap, you know? Like they come from upbringings or situations where they're used to the chaos, and so they just,
It feels weird.
it feels boring.
Yeah.
That's the word, it feels boring. When they get a moment of peace, when they're finally taken out of that situation, they're like, why is it so quiet? Is this normal? No, I gotta sabotage this. I gotta do something new, you know? And that's why I say, like, that person has to be the one to say to themselves, like, I gotta make the change.
Yeah, I gotta want better for myself.
Right. So my next question is, how do you think this is gonna affect the next generation? especially with things such as technology and AI being so prominent and whatnot.
Not trying to badmouth like the next generation, cause like there's power in the tongue, but like I feel like the way that things are going is not looking good.
Oh,
It's not like I'm just saying, like it's not looking good. Like for example, my cousin, she's 4, and like she consumes so much technology, and it's just like it's sad to even see that of like children don't know like regular, hey, like this is another little kid, go outside and play. They don't want that. They want an iPad in front of them, a phone in front of them. And you can't even tell me your ABC. You can't count to 10. I feel like our generation is the next generation that's have kids. So it's like, if we feel like what we're doing is good enough for ourselves, like, what are we gonna do for our children, the next generation? We're gonna think what we doing is perfectly fine for them too. So I feel like it starts within us so that we can break that generational curse.
yeah, I would add on to that, but in a different way with like technology. Like, let's say you on an app for something random, let's say like cooking or something, and you have like an ad, and it's like a very sexual ad. Y'all ever had one of those before? Like on Instagram, or when you shopping and there'll be an ad, and it'll be like maybe someone like lingerie or something like that, or like even like those games that'd be like those little games that you can play. And I can only imagine like what you were saying about kids and them having tablets and them having access to like these certain apps and whatnot, and them seeing it. And I feel like that's when the issue truly arises, and that's when we need to really get into conversation with, like what Chan was saying, like the labels and people that run like the advertisements and whatnot, because it feels more than ever that sex sells. That sex is just it's a staple. It really is a staple now. And with that sexual liberation that we have today with like OnlyFans and this hookup culture and whatnot, it's starting to really become mainstream and even hit like apps and ads and whatnot, and children media. And I think that's truly a problem. It's going to continue being a problem if it doesn't get addressed.
So I think my take on everything right now, as far as like what we're talking about, I'm a person that I believe that like I gotta be careful about what I say, because I don't want it to happen. So I'm just gonna say this: I hope we don't get to a point where we don't communicate in person and we just communicate on some type of technology, some type of device, and say, say like, I think you're attractive, right? I'm not talking to the person.
Right.
I'm just communicating through the device, bang, like let's get together. So I get with the person, and then we just start doing the do, and then after that, that's it. I'm back on the app, or I'm back on like I'm on the social space. I hope we don't get to that point.
Yeah.
And that's how we have kids. That's how we communicate. We just right here. We're not even communicating no more. We're not even going to work no more because we got the bots and stuff like that doing what they gotta do. I just hope we don't lose humanity, in everything. If we are gonna go the AI route, I hope we advance as humans. So
Shit.
but I just don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
The way it looking, boy.
It's more crippling.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
what?
I think we don't use our brains as much anymore because we
We
rely
don't.
so much on technology and AI.
Everything is very automated now.
It's at your fingertips. I don't have to look
Right.
at a book. I don't have to look in a dictionary. I can just type it on ChatGPT and it gives me my answers. Kids are being born into a life where all the answers are there and they don't have to look for it. They don't have to open a book or anything.
Right.
So it goes back to what I said earlier, like COVID really like messed things up in different ways that like we didn't realize. Like COVID changed social media. COVID changed the way that we communicate. Like it's just different things. People lack just regular social skills after COVID. Like I feel like before 2020, I feel like we were, I don't want to say we were the best as a society, but we were still smart people.
COVID had a dramatic effect.
Even 5 years later.
Yeah, it definitely did. Was the term sneaky link made in COVID?
Guy grew up. It was called booty call. That's how.
That's all. That's it. My day.
That my dick, but like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about that in my head all the time. I was like, hey. It really has changed the game, and now it's such a normal term
Yeah.
nowadays.
People take that and run with it now.
Like situationship.
Yeah.
They-
Situationship.
They run
I
situationship
hated that
in the
so
whole.
much.
What is a situationship?
A waste of time. That's what it is. Two people who fear commitment.
Yeah.
That's what a situationship is.
Or it could be one person
One
that fears
person
commitment.
fears
But why would you even entertain that? Do y'all believe in TND?
I think I do. It
Y'all know
is-
what TND
What
is?
is that?
Call me old.
Toxic Negro Dick.
I never heard that yet. That was new to me.
But y'all know what that is, right?
Well, now I know what that is.
Do y'all think that's prominent in our media right now? Do y'all think that's a real thing?
I mean, yeah, because that goes back to the music. Like, think of Summer Walker. She be saying like she don't care about her baby daddy, whatever. But I'm gonna keep going back because that
did good.
Exactly. Like, I definitely feel like I feel like that's definitely a real thing. And if our artists are talking about it, and if that's what people consume day and night, that like I feel like people don't listen to music for entertainment purposes anymore. They listen to music and they want to live it out.
Mm.
Like whether it
Yeah.
be like that TND that you were talking about,
That Brent
or
Fires.
or that Brent Fires, or we got a wannabe NBA young boy that
Right.
want to carry around guns all the time.
I feel like that's always been a thing though.
But I feel like it's even worse now though. Like I feel like
It's more exposed
It
because of social
is.
media. I feel like hookup culture has always been a thing, but with social media, it's just got out of hand, and it's more so mainstream to the point where like it was very taboo. Like when we were children, we didn't hear about no damn
yeah.
none of that. We would sing songs, but we didn't know what it was.
We didn't know a dang thing.
Bees in the trap, we didn't know what that was.
Like-
But like nowadays, everything is very much more like very vulgar, like
But it's mainly like that in black media. You listen to country music, like they're talking about, I love this girl, I want to be with this girl. They want to be in an actual relationship. But it's the black media that's talking about situationships, baby mamas, hitting this hole, going to the next hole. Why is that?
Maybe it's because again,
talk
we
about-
don't have no shame.
You don't have no shame?
We don't have no shame.
I just want to put this out there. I don't think it's us. I think somebody's controlling us.
This man got conspiracy.
I think somebody is trying to control us, trying to keep us in our place,
Facts.
trying to limit us. But they know that we're capable.
Boy, we gotta go into a whole nother thing.
But
Y'all-
I don't want nobody knocking on my door.
But you might be onto something. Like y'all know that Netflix movie, it's like Tyrone or something like that, and it was like,
Clone Tyrone.
yeah, like you might be onto something though, like because you never see like who are the people that are giving these big artists the money.
When's the last time y'all really saw like a feel-good black movie? Like a black movie that really like has this essence of love.
Or promotes a traditional family dynamic.
Right,
With the actual black father. and
right.
black
Like
mother.
I feel like in the 90s, right, we had such a surgence of like black everything, you know? We had A Different World, we had Family Matters, we had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like we had Martin, like we had all this surgence of just all types of mediums of black. And now it's more so about baby daddy, baby this, trap, power,
Yeah.
like BMF.
Quick money.
It was a mixture. We had more of seeing the different perspectives from, black perspectives.
It's less common now.
Yeah.
Like even watching TV shows like y'all listed, like it makes us as a culture like look bad. And like I know that's not us as a whole. That might be a select few. But I can think of like all of my black friends, they're either in a successful relationship or want one.
Right.
They're like you said earlier, like they're not trying to be in the streets, like trying to figure life out. Like again, I feel like that goes back to the maturity because I can think of my friends that are say 3 years younger than us. They want to do that. So I think we have to want better for ourselves before we can say like someone else can fix our problems.
So what's some advice that y'all would give either your younger selves or people that are younger than you or people that's older than you, but what's some advice that you would give to someone that's conflicted about going in this path or going, with another path?
I would just say follow your heart. Like I feel like your heart will point you in the right direction. Cause like obviously, I don't know, like you're gonna have some influence. Either it might be friends, it might be media, whatever the case may be. But like you know the reasonings of why you're doing things, and you know if it's true to you, or if that's the real reason you want to do it. So like in a case where it's like, I just want to go hook up with this person, and I don't want to have my feelings involved because I got my feelings hurt in the past. So that means you actually want a good relationship with somebody, but you're just guarding yourself because you've been broken down. Your bond has been broken too many times. So follow your heart and do what you need to do to get back right. Don't take the shortcut, because everybody wants to take a shortcut now these days. Girl up, man up, and get through what you got to get through. Because we all like, you know, we live on the phone, we live on, you know, Instagram. Right. You know, it's all this gratification so quick, but we're not doing the work. That's what I gotta say.
He's spitting. We not doing the work no more. We looking for that instant gratification. We looking for instant gratification.
The reputation. We looking for
the validation.
The clout. We looking for
right.
Say validation from other people, from your friends. Do what you gotta do.
Right. Sit with yourself.
If you can't sit with yourself for more than 2 days, it might get a little lonely. But if you find yourself freaking out, you're gonna need some time, for real. Cause you don't want to be dependent on sex. I'm expecting this, and then when it doesn't happen, then like now my whole mental, emotional stand, you know, is messed up. Even to piggyback off of that, you can't even be dependent on validation. You should validate yourself at the end of the day. I would hope you'd be okay with yourself.
I would say like my advice.
You said he just sound like man. He's spitting.
He's like a therapist. I'll say my advice is like, our body's not ours, and we shouldn't act on our bodies based off of how we feel.
It should be our spirit.
Exactly.
Our spirit should be aligned. You know, we should be. The term is being equally yoked. You know, our spirit should be aligned with this person, and that emotional connection and that spiritual connection drives the flesh. You know, that's what, you know, initiates all of that. But it shouldn't just be, oh, I see this person, oh, I think they're attractive, this and that. I riz them up for like 2 days, and now, you know, I'm in there. Because you just don't know what type of traumas or energy this person has. And now we just have this. People aren't even using protection no more on the first time. People are just, you know, letting just energies travel. You don't know if this person has so much built up trauma now that it passes to you, and now you starting to do things that were foreign to you because you done had, you know, this relation with this person that is just carrying all these different things.
That's very true, because it goes back to hookup culture.
Yeah.
Like, you're communicating over a phone with them, so you don't truly know them. So now you're hooking up with them, not knowing what they're dealing with, because you didn't get to make that emotional connection.
Man, it's crazy. These thoughts coming in. But people, like, I've heard stories of people, like, they hook up and they don't even kiss each other during during the hookup. They not kissing no. We all grown. We grown. They ain't looking each other in no face. Like, everything is from the back or on top.
Yes.
But it's just like there's
the intimacy at.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can you just?
Because hookup culture is not intimate.
Y'all basically prostitutes.
Yep. It's not getting paid.
No money.
Right. Like,
you're doing that for free.
How can you have relations with someone that's something that's intimate as somebody, you know, doing that? You don't even know this person's last name. You're not even having eye contact. Like, shit crazy. But that's my perspective. that's my perspective, for sure.
I think my advice would be same thing as Yasmin says. Your body is your temple, and you can't just let any and everybody inside of you. Especially for like women, young girls, you deserve to be more than just lusted over. You deserve love. You deserve a man that's actually gonna want to learn you, be patient with you, treat you right. You don't deserve just a heart emoji and come over, because you're worth way more than that. You are the prize. You make it work for that. You can't just give yourself out to someone so easily. What is that?
My question for you. Oh, you about to say something?
I was about to say, like, if you're so concerned about, like, so, like, you might like this dude, and I'm talking about for my young females out there, or even older, I'm sure you know the game, but, like, if you really like this dude, and he's not gonna give you the time of day because he expects to hit in, like, 3 days or 4 days, you're gonna get burned anyway. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Do y'all think mileage matters from a woman's perspective?
Does what? Mileage.
Do you think mileage matters?
Like does somebody's
body count? Yeah.
I don't think body count matters. In my opinion, we are all grown. We've all had sex. As long as you don't have anything, you don't have your past people coming up to me saying who this, that, and the third, or you done did something traumatic and crazy, we good. Just be honest with me. Don't lie about your body count now. Don't say your body count 5 and it's really 35. Then that's the issue.
What you guys?
I don't think it matters.
What you?
You think about that 35?
Yeah, I think it matters for me, and this is just my opinion. I know it doesn't go along with y'all's, but like, and I understand I'm grown too. I think at a certain age it probably won't matter, but since we're still kind of young, it's a good way for me to gauge to see how you respect yourself. And I get the past is the past, but still, I've respected myself to a certain level, and I'm not gonna like, I might hold it against you for a little bit. It's not gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna mess with you, but I'm just gonna take a mental note of like, well, dang, 35?
Well, okay, so say, this is really off topic, but like, it goes to what you just said, like, say she had a rough past, like, she went to college, she did the do, well, multiple women, she's done with school now, and like, is now like following her like spiritual journey of like, what I've done in the past, what I did it like when I was in school, like that wasn't me. And like now, in her mind, she's on a clean slate. But you ask her how many bodies she has. Now, one, you're rehashing the past, and two, it's like now you're judging her, but that's not who she is anymore.
Right. I get that too. That's why it's like you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that question is gonna get some conversation going. But yeah, my opinion has definitely changed. Just because I know how it feels to be judged based off history. To be, wanting and being someone completely different than who you were in the past. But when something, comes up, an argument, they'll bring up something. So where they're bringing you back to that past self. And you know that you're not that person anymore.
Exactly.
So I understand with that. I think it's one of those things where transparency has to be, at the forefront of everything. I don't think the body count question should come up just because, like y'all said, we all grown, and I don't have to be with this person. I don't have to pursue anything with this person. I'm choosing to do that. That's my main, gripe. It's like, you tell me your body count, I'm gonna just be like, okay, am I okay with this or am I not okay with this? But it's not like I'm forced to be with this person. I don't have to intentionally be mean or make you feel bad about it. I can just walk away.
I feel like me personally, like, I personally would have asked that because it's like, I was passed for a reason. You're not there anymore for a reason. And like, what am I gonna get from asking that? Like, say his body count 30. What am I gonna do with that information besides hurt myself?
Right.
Like, that's gonna be like, damn, I can't do nothing with that information. So that's why I say, for me personally, like, it would not matter.
Yeah, I think that conversation will only come up if like that person's name was just spread it, and then you just heard it and you was like, she's been with, or he's been with, it's like, maybe that conversation will come up then, but like now, you just gotta see people for who they are, and you gotta let them show you who they are, I would say.
I feel like that question, that topic alone is just like, it's a controversial one, just because like, obviously you would want to know patterns in a person. Like, yeah, the person could have changed. Like, a heroin addict could not be an ex-heroin addict, hopefully that person not using heroin no more, but like, they might fight the urge some days. So it's like, I feel like it's important to know the history. It's important to know what you're walking yourself into.
That's true.
Also have the trust, be able to have the trust, which is so hard now these days because you got what we've been talking about, the whole hookup culture and the social media. But yeah, I just think it's important to know the history because you need to look out for signs. And it's like, dang, because you want to go in this relationship knowing that you can fully trust somebody, and you should always, like I said, you want to go pick an option that has that that stamp of approval, not like no risk. But then again, somebody could have risk because they haven't experienced that, and this culture has blasted hookup culture, so they might feel like they never even got to experience it. So either way, you got a risk. Ain't that some crap? Ain't that some shit?
So you just gotta pray about it, honestly.
Amen.
I just put my trust in God. It's scary out there. It's scary to put yourself out there and talk to other people. And I just put my trust in God because I can't stress about this for the rest of my life. It's gonna cause wrinkles.
Right.
I'm just gonna put it all to God and hopefully everything will work out, which it will. Because God got me. So I'm good.
Facts. Absolutely, for sure. Well, y'all, I think we had a really productive conversation about this hookup culture. Hopefully we were able to give y'all some insight into 4 individuals who are currently living in this situation, and hopefully y'all can resonate with what we said. If y'all have any opinions or things that y'all want to say, please drop it down in the comments below. Please have healthy conversations. We're not here to ridicule anyone. We're not here to make anyone feel bad about how they feel. We're just here to, evolve and, be productive overall. But I want to thank everyone that came out, man, to have this conversation. How was it, y'all?
I liked it.
It was
You liked
good.
it? It was good? It was good?
Stimulated my brain.
Very productive.
Very productive. W-Moj. Thank y'all so much for showing up. But yeah, man, please like, subscribe, share this content, comment below. Let's create a discussion, man. Join the Discord up above, scan the QR code, man. And yeah, this is another episode of Emotional Monday. I'm your host, Motiion Theme. I got Shane the Man, I got Yasmin, I got T, and yeah, Motion out. Peace. All right, y'all. We're done.
That was fun.
She's a motion, she's a